Hey everyone, it's Trader Rob. Today is Sunday, May 31st, last day in May. May ended up, being a pretty decent month of trading. Not the greatest, obviously, price action. I would say the NQ, ES, most markets have been in a pretty strong uptrend here all of May. And for that, I mean, we didn't get many retracements down into a lot of unbalanced volume areas that we have down below, but we still had plenty of trading opportunities. And the trading's just been not super fantastic, but it's been good enough to consistently grow the accounts, which is really the name of the game. I believe I ended off May up 11K on the total of the funded accounts. And next month, I am going to be setting even a bigger goal because I'm going to have myself set with a goal of 20K for the funded accounts and my cash account. So just going to up that up a little bit. Small increase in position size. That's the beauty of when you've got the options of trading the E-mini, you've got the options of trading micros. When you scale down to micros, you can percentage base your increase on your position size pretty easily, and you'll see, especially if you're trading, if you're scaling your accounts like how I do. Any addition even on the micro side makes a huge difference at the end of the month. So I don't know if you guys, I hope majority of you guys caught the live stream on Friday. I had a Cash Profit Friday, made, I think it was like $1,100. The winner ended up taking home 5% of my cash profit, which was $58, sent through Venmo. And, I think since I've started the Cash Profit Fridays, several $100s have been given away to the viewers. So I am really trying to give back, not only in providing you guys these videos with the weekly bands, the tradable levels, but every single morning in my Discord, which is completely free. You can go in, see all of my scalping bands and tradable levels that I have for the NQ, the ES, and in gold. I've been putting in gold also for the month of May in my Discord. So there's a lot of resources for you guys. My website, which is robstrades.com, has a ton of resources, has a lot of the videos on my strategies. And if you're looking to trade with me each and every morning, extended times from YouTube, and you want to be a part of the Signal group, I give out signals on the ES, the NQ, and now gold. Obviously, Apex just released this last week that you are now able to trade gold again. So with that addition, it makes it really easy with my scaling on my groups. I've got Apex in pretty much all of my groups for my funded accounts. So you'll be seeing me take a little bit more trades in gold, and you'll see a lot more signals in gold as well. So if you want to join my Signal group, there is a link in the description below. It's $59 a month, so there is a small investment into it, but I think that the value that you get out of it is, I think for the money, it's a great investment. But with that being said, I know I wasn't able to get you guys the weekly bands yesterday. I know it's probably one of the first weeks in probably in a couple of years that I had to skip. We had Memorial Day weekend, and it just honestly time kind of flew by. But here we are. I'm going to go over the bands, the weekly bands, the tradable levels I left you with during our last video. You'll see how well they reacted, and we'll get into the new weekly bands and tradable levels for the NQ and the ES for this upcoming week. So you've got a nice little roadmap, regardless of what strategy you're using. Have these levels up on your chart, and you will be surprised. As always, nothing that I state in my channel is financial advice. Trading futures or any type of trading is risky business. Any capital that is put out there is at risk for loss. All right, so let's start off with the ES here. So as I didn't give you guys any weekly bands and tradable levels last Sunday, the nice thing is that as price action has really been trending so upwards, we didn't have a lot of huge retracements down to a lot of our unbalanced volumes way below. You'll see a lot more on the NQ. And again, if you want to receive my report every single Sunday, I send out one email per Sunday that's got all of the weekly bands, everything that's way below on price action that we don't necessarily go in through on the current video because I've already gone through them on previous weeks, but they haven't been tapped into. In that email, all of the tradable levels, all the bands are included in there for you. It's completely free. Again, if you just go to my website, robstrades.com, you'll put your name and your email in there. And again, it's just one email per week, and that's all you get. All right, so if we move, the last time that I gave you guys some weekly bands was on the 17th. So this was our Sunday open right here, Sunday the 17th. And as you guys can see, our first level that we had here was the 74.52. And you will see how well, you can obviously see how well the price action there respected this level right here. Sorry, I'll put a circle right here. Look how nice. You got almost probably less than it's probably about a 1.5 points of drawdown right there for a nice, what is this? Almost 70-point move to the downside off that tradable level. If we continue to follow price action, we never reached this level down here, but we came about 2 ticks away from it. So, again, we didn't tap right into it, but really nice level. We came right back to that 74.52 level, rejected again, rejected again, rejected again. You can just see how well that level reacted. And then the next level that I'd given you guys was the 74.96. I would say that's a really nice reaction there. Again, this is good for another 30 points. We then ended up closing, I believe we ended up closing the week right here, tapping into our weekly band at the 75.40 to the 75.08. Again, really nice rejection from there. In fact, if you guys are watching my live streams, you guys saw I probably took some really nice trades on the ES off of these exact bands that you guys are seeing right here. And this is where price action is sitting at. So let's just do really quick here. Right there. So I can get rid of this tradable level, and this tradable level. Perfect. All right, let's expand this so we can take a look at our chart. All right, there we go. All right, the change to our weekly band is this is now going to be at the 75.58 to the 75.05. Again, that's the 75.58 to the 75.05. So weekly band sitting below where price action is currently at. And I believe our next band below that is at the 72.41 to the 71.99. Price actions actually did a pretty good job of balancing itself out on this way up to the upside. If you guys have been, again, watching my live streams every morning, you guys have been hearing me talking about that. So with that being said, let's now get into some of the tradable levels. Now these tradable levels, well, you know what? Let me start fresh. These weekly bands that I give you guys every Sunday, again, these are extreme unbalanced volume areas in the market, meaning that price action is going to have an extremely hard time getting through these bands, penetrating through these bands. So typically we will see a very nice reaction off of these bands. Now, with that being said, there's a few things that you need to understand. One, there's 3 things that I always tell you guys that will penetrate these bands. One is going to be high impact news. Two is going to be high impact headlines, which has been kind of the thorn in the side of, I think, of a lot of traders, especially traders with good edges, good strategies. Took a loss on Thursday, got a spike on a headline that had come out in regards to the Iran war. Literally blasted through two of my zones that I had resting limit orders on the NQ, had a resting limit order in gold. All three just got destroyed for a really no nonsense headline that in the end really was a nothing burger. But we're in that type of volatility right now, and there's going to be times where, regardless how good your strategy is and how good you think that there is an area where you're going to see supply, demand, in my case, unbalanced volume, they don't hold up when it comes to high impact news or scheduled news. So if we've got a release coming out, PPI, non-farm payroll, the bigger ones that are out there, those are the ones going to penetrate these bands. And then the third way to get through these bands is going to be multiple retaps into the same band. Eventually, the market will churn through the volume, and we'll look for price discovery in other areas of unbalanced volume. And the last thing that you always want to look out for is going to be your Sunday open, which comes out in about an hour and a half from when I'm recording this video. Might be 20 minutes before you actually see this on YouTube. But we might get price action that makes a big jump to the downside. Okay, we might gap down here. We might actually gap in this unbalanced volume area. I wouldn't be surprised. That would be my prediction, is that the market open on Sunday will open in this gapped area, this shaded area right here. That's just my prediction. You guys can put in the comments if I was right or wrong, but that's what I'm saying. Now, again, if we gap to the upside and then we come back down, that's a great opportunity to trade this band or any tradable level. So just want you guys to understand that. So first level is going to, let's get this guy correct. First one is going to be at the 75.61. And again, that's going to be the 75.61. So that's sitting right above this weekly band, below where price action is currently at. Now, again, we're not going to just blindly take a long from the 75.61 at the Sunday open, because we might gap underneath it. Are we going to take a long at that point? No. But in that scenario, if we get decent price action, it comes back up. Watch to see with the reaction that you see here at the 75.61. Now, if we gap to the upside as we come back down, yes, then we're looking for a long all day long at this 75.61. And our next key level is going to be at the 75.05. 75.05. Again, and this one's sitting out at the bottom of this band. These are interesting because now when it churns through volume, you will also see that the market has a high likelihood too of sweeping this bottom part of this band, or in this case, this key level at the 75.05, and then having a nice reaction back to the upside. So that's the ES. And again, if you want to get all of the levels, all of the bands that we currently have open, a lot of these have not been retraced back down into yet, just go to my website and I'll send you that email every single Sunday. Looking at the NQ, if we go back to the 17th where my last video came out, we got to scroll a good amount here. We'll just kind of follow price action. And let's see what happens here. All right, so this is our Sunday open, was somewhere right around here. Gave you guys this weekly band on the NQ at the 28,930. What did price action do? I mean, where did we get the reaction from? Right here. Right here. This is a 500-point move to the upside off this weekly band. You guys see it on my live streams every single morning, how strong the bands are, how well the very little drawdown that you see on these trades. It's a beautiful thing. And then what happened here? So you can say, well, Rob, why did it blast through the level on the second time? Well, it didn't. Remember, there's a few things that will get you through a band. One is the multiple retap into the same band. But If you guys see, I gave you guys a level here at the 28,832. Where was the reaction at? At the 28,832. It's exactly right on the dollar. Now they will break. At that point, that level is not tradable anymore. Okay, even though you got these are reactions good for almost 100 points back and forth. These are 15-minute candles. Okay, finally break through. Where do we get into next? Our next weekly band at the 28,631. Look at the reaction off of this. This is almost a 400-point reaction here. I'm telling you guys, you can't make this stuff up. Now we visit the next band that I gave you guys at the 29,600. Where's the reaction at? Right there. That's good for almost 240 points to the downside. There you go. What happens to the next band that I gave you guys? Right here. Where was the reaction at? Right at the band. What's this reaction good for? Another 240 points. And you could just keep going on and on and on and on. Now, I believe that was it. It should be at where current price action's at. Yep. So now that we've gone through them, let's delete the ones that we do not need. We don't need this guy. We don't need him. They all have done their jobs extremely well. And this band is gone. Now I am going to leave this key level right here. Let me just get some of these bubbles out of the way. Okay, just to make it clean. Let's get back to where price action is currently sitting at right here. Let's expand this out a little bit. And now let me give you the new weekly bands, which are actually super clean on the NQ. And these are going to be, telling you, these are going to be great weekly bands to trade off of. 3125 to the 300060. 30060. Again, that's the 3125 to the 30060. There you go. There's your new weekly band for this upcoming week on the NQ. Let's get to the next one. Next one's going to be sitting at the 29994 to the 29916. Again, that's the 29994 to the 29916. There you go. Let's go to the next band, which is sitting at the 29827 to the 29763. Again, that's the 29827 to the 29763. Boom. Those are your 3 new weekly bands for the NQ. Just map them up on your charts. Map them up on your charts and see what kind of reaction you get at them. Some new tradable levels on the NQ. First one is going to be sitting at the 3157. 3157. Okay, that's our first one. Second one is going to be sitting at the 30033. 30033. Boom. There's your second new tradable level. These are scalpable levels. Obviously not as strong as the bands, but these are the levels that you also want to be scalping from. 29001. 29001. Right here. And our fifth and final is at the 29804. 29804. 29. This is 2804, sorry. Got that level in the wrong spot. It was supposed to be the 28804. Text 28804. Apologize for that. There you go. So that's one tradable level, second tradable level, third tradable level, fourth tradable level, fifth tradable level. Let me just make sure that I got the 157, I got the 33. This guy we don't need. And this is the one. Yep. There we go. It wasn't the 29804, it's the 28. All right, so that is your NQ weekly bands, your NQ tradable levels, your ES levels, your ES bands. Again, if you want to see how I trade the AVT, which is the auction volume trend strategy, which again I believe is really a superior way of trading the markets. I gave a really good explanation of it on Friday, so if you want, just rewatch the live stream on Friday. I think you'll gain a lot of knowledge on exactly how I come up with these bands, how I come up with my levels every single morning. And you can watch me trade with, on the live stream every single morning, and hope to see you guys there. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and look forward to the new trading week. Take care, everybody.